sunshine coming. Oh, and yes, I'm running up that coast.
Hello and welcome to Swell Seasons Surf Radio. I'm your host for today, Tyler Brewer. Before we kick off, I just want to wish all of our listeners well and hope everyone is staying safe in the time of surf and coronavirus. Please remember to wash your hands as much as possible and obviously keep your distance from people and be safe and be smart. On our latest episode of Swell Season, our correspondent and sometimes co-host Karen Song caught up with surfer, shaper, mother, musician, and writer Ashley Lloyd to discuss shaping a more eco-friendly surfboard, on what it's like opening doors for women shapers, and finding oneself in a time of transition and divorce, and how you balance all of that and the daily hustle. Oh, and how to write a children's book. So Karen had the opportunity while on the West Coast to meet up with Ashley and hang in her surf van to record this latest episode. It's great. Karen has just been such a wonderful addition to the Swell Season. We love having her on, and her interviews are awesome. So definitely sit back and enjoy this episode. For many of you who are not familiar with Ashley, she grew up surfing in Malibu, developed this whole life around the ocean, and while studying music in Santa Barbara way back in 2002, Ashley began learning the art of shaping. She learned it from Malibu legend Danny Tarimpi, and in 2005, Ashley became a team rider and shaper for Bing Surfboards, and is featured in numerous surf films. One of the most notable ones is Deer and Yonder by Tiffany Campbell, an incredible surf film if you have not seen it. Ashley, upon the desire and necessity to make surfboards less of an environmental footprint as well as less toxic to the makers, Ashley decided to switch all of her switch over from using all conventional resin and shifted to bio-resin, which is amazing. She shifted everything into in-house, and it's all bio-based epoxy resin made by Entropy Resins. From there, she was green certified with the organization Sustainable Surf. Not many shapers have that certification, so it's really incredible, and she's made incredible strides to make the surfboard more eco-friendly but also more durable. Ashley tries to create joy by balancing her life's work with shaping, surf instruction, and playing music. She signs all of her boards made with love. You can find her shapes at ashleyloydsurfboards.com or follow her on Instagram at ashleyloydsurfboards. And Ashley Lloyd, she puts all of her heart into what she creates, and you can see it and you'll hear it throughout this interview. So sit back and enjoy Karen's interview with Ashley Lloyd. I'm Tyler Brewer for Swell Season. Thank you.
Where we are right now, I think it just doesn't get surfier than this. It's kind of hysterical. We're on the side of the road at Mondo's. I was able to surf one of your boards, which was really exciting and totally unexpected. I had no idea that was in store for me today. And we're in your surf vehicle.
Here we are.
Sitting on the bed in the back of the van.
Yeah,
this
the
is kinda
lights are
great.
now on in the surf vehicle. It was a beautiful sunset.
Yes.
Still is. People have no idea there's a surf podcast interview going on in here.
For me, it was really exciting to know of your existence in the first place, because I feel like for the longest time, you'd never hear of any women shapers. And to find you, but then you being a woman almost became like the side feature. The fact that you're doing all these eco boards is really exciting also. So I guess I should just begin by asking you, how you got started shaping.
Well, I got started shaping mostly through a friend who offered to teach me. My friend Danny Tarampi, he was this older man, a retired postman, actually, that I would see surfing Malibu all the time, just super aloha spirit. And he used to run his own glassing business, Gunther Glass, and shaped plenty of boards, and had taught a few people how to shape before, but never a woman. And he saw my interest in his different designs, and that I did ding repair and things. He asked if I was would be interested in learning how to shape, and I very much so was. I didn't actually like seek it out like, oh, I want to shape surfboards, I got to find someone to teach me how to shape. It was more just like this gift of an opportunity that he presented to me, and so I learned from him to begin with. And I have several friends in Santa Barbara and, gosh, a bunch of different shapers all over that don't even know they're my mentors. Wow. That I respect. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just kind of been a lot of self-discovery, and I learned a lot on my own, but I would definitely contribute a lot of it to Danny helping to start me out. Just the different stepping stones that have been in front of me with it all, and how it's led to me being able to connect to people, just helping them connect with their surfboard and what kind of surfing they want to do, and what their evolutionary path is with surfing, but and how that also kind of, I don't know, you just like the conversations that you have with people and the things that it opens up in them, and just to be a small part of that, it's really cool for me. It's a very special thing. But I didn't really realize that until I experienced that. But I did know that I liked trying to figure out how to make a symmetrical surfboard and use tools and be creating this thing that just seemed like was a really magical craft that was going to be really hard to figure out. Like I still feel like I'm trying to figure it out. But it's, you can always refine your craft, and it's a really neat time, like in shaping. I loved longboarding, but it was just kind of when longboarding started becoming a thing again, especially surfing First Point Malibu. It definitely was a thing, like single fin heavy longboards. But like when I was younger, learning how to surf, everyone was on shortboards, high performance shortboards, and little potato chips, or maybe thick chips back then. Right. But then they got thinner and thinner, and I kind of found my love when I figured out like a bigger board and just that glide factor and the beauty of the cross step and what all that is. So now, come full circle, it's really interesting because I get a lot of orders for the kinds of boards that people know me for riding, but I also love riding shortboards too. And I love making all sorts of boards. Like some of the boards that I've made aren't so much like because I've thought, oh, I'm going to make a bonzer like that now with these channels, but it's one that someone's asked me to do for them. So it's really interesting, like trying to manifest what someone desires or is interested in, and does it work, and how can we make it work for you instead of just this idea. It's like this, sometimes it's really a teamwork, cooperation of figuring out what the best custom shape for them is, and rarely you get someone that knows exactly what they want. I usually put people through a little bit of an interview just to make sure like I'm hitting the right.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, when someone comes to you for a board, like, what's the best thing that they could bring to you? What information,
just whatever they have. It depends on the individual. I don't totally have a preference. Like when I shape a board for Frosty, he knows exactly what he wants. The dimensions, like everything. Like maybe my art comes in a little bit with the foiling.
A guy named Frosty, of course, would know
his
exact dimensions.
So I've shaped him probably like 15 boards or something. And
wow.
He's an amazing surfer. Bob Pearson shapes most of his boards. But so I mean, he's just like, he's actually taught me a lot about shaping through his really specific orders, and
that's
trying
so
to manifest like his nose rider that he just barely wants to tweak, or his little wave, small wave high performance longboard, or his like small wave gun, which was just like triple overhead gun. Okay, that's a small wave gun. No, but it's really been interesting shaping for him because he's also like a really strong big man, and then I get all these petite women or strong women, I get people of all sorts, but all of them kind of like, every board I've ever made is like a family tree. They all give me information that lead to the next, and just like the array of different shapes that I've done over the years,
Right.
starting from my very first surfboard and what works for me personally and what trip I'm into. And then there's that totally might not be the same for who I'm making a board for,
Right.
you know, and so to pay attention to their needs and interests and desires of how they want to do their creativity on the wave helps direct me to me doing my creativity in the shaping room for them to help achieve those goals.
Right. And how many years have you had your surfboard company? Or
I started, in 2002. I know, actually, April 2002 is when I signed my first board.
Wow.
Because I had
that's great.
interview.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
I had no idea you're on for this long. It's crazy that now that the word is getting out, or I mean not now, but like in the last few years, I feel.
It's interesting. Like, I don't really know. Like, sometimes, yeah. I mean, they are getting out there more, and I mean, it's always been special to me since day one.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I've always known who I am. Actually, I haven't always known who I am. I'm just now starting to figure it out. But it's interesting. Like, how, I don't know how. For example, I was in the O magazine like 8 or so years ago.
Wow.
And
I mean Oprah's magazine.
Yeah, Oprah's magazine.
That's amazing.
And God, I love Oprah. Like, I listen to
come
her Super
on.
Soul things, and I feel like she's a giant influence on my life. Just like listening to her different amazing people that she speaks with.
She featured you. I mean, you're featured in her magazine before Surfer's Journal, even.
Yes.
That's crazy. That happened recently, right?
Surfer's Journal, or yes, that happened this year.
That's hilarious.
And but the O magazine, I was in a part of it for women who make beautiful things, and I believe I sold one board through that publication.
Oh my God!
So it's really interesting because
That's
like
crazy. I would imagine.
I know. I had people saying, "Get ready," and I was like, "What does that mean? I don't know how to get ready. I'm not much of a business person, but okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for it." And it didn't really change, like how my anything really, except for it stroked my ego a little bit. But I mean, it was still a really neat opportunity, and it led me into my Oprah Deepak meditations, which also helped save my life. But no, it's funny, and I don't know that Oprah herself actually knows who I am, or just like, the people who put together her magazine. But it is
She knows everything.
It was
Oprah
a cool.
knows everything.
She's so cool. I'm like, because of the magazine, I've become a really big fan of hers. Yeah. Like, she's got a rad thing going on, just like her. What a super heart. But anyways. Why was I talking about that?
About press, and then also before that, that you had signed your first. You remembered when you signed your first board because in 2002 something happened.
Right. So I don't know. It's interesting how people, different, like a surfer that's ready to buy their next surfboard isn't necessarily reading the O magazine, but. Like my friend's mom in Virginia saw me when she was at her friend's house,
nice.
And it's so funny, but it's just really neat for me that when people are enthusiastic about the shapes, it's definitely, I feel honored, and it's really special for me that people will choose me to get a board for me, because I just think of it as an honor, like you riding my board today, a super special moment for me, because that's something that I made, and it's and then we put it into function, and I'm watching you dance around
and let it be known, it's the first time I've, I think, ridden a log in California, because I never travel with a log, and I don't have one here, and so I just usually have my shortboard here, or like a fish or something. So it was like a dream to be able to surf this wave that just goes on, and it's sweet, and it's just rolling, and you have so much time. You don't have to run to the nose and run back, because on the East Coast
it was a really